Okay, it started.
So can I start with my ridiculous idea? I thought for some reason of death in a way. I don't know if the artist's mother has passed, but because from the what are they called, exhibit? The previous one we were just in, we were talking about the balls on the floor, and Pauline told us that her mom used to teach her to roll them up, as you can see here on the screen. And, you know, it was a thing that she did with her mom, so I just thought about it, and I was like, probably her mom passed, because also, when people die, they're usually on top of, like, you know, some, yeah, coffin bed, and then I see all the needles, and it's probably, like, I thought pain, and then all, like, everything that flows out, it can be, like, the daughters or something. That's what I thought.
I agree. I thought the same. I thought it could have been like a deathbed. Like, maybe not entirely that something tragic has happened, but maybe just that the going out, it could have been an angelic death, kind of. Almost like, because it looks so beautiful, and then you realize in the middle that there's all these like needles sticking out. And I was thinking, like, is there an easy way out or an easy way in?
Well, for me, I kind of thought that, I kind of had a different view on this, actually, because as Brenda had said before, that you see in the video that she's like, you know, doing the ball in the garden, as Pauline had said before, that she did this for her mother. And it kind of like shows that this was like her tradition in her family, like this is what she did when she was a child, this is how she grew up, this is what she learned. And maybe like the needles that are in the middle of the bed kind of shows like maybe a flaw in this tradition, because maybe because of her doing this threading, she never had a childhood, maybe. I don't know. But like it might show like a flaw or like, or yeah, just like a hardship in the tradition that it was so strict that this is all she had to do day in and day out.
I also want to add on to that. I think that I also, when I saw this, I thought the idea of like a flaw in the tradition that they had was like very like visual here, because, or visible, because like I think that the needles represent like you're always going to be like trapped in this thing once you're since the day you were born. You learned values, and you learn how to grow up so fast, and all these values make you like trapped because it's a tradition. You can't let go of them, and they were really strict about it. And I see the cotton balls around, and I just think it's like work till you die, because like you have to be committed to your family, you have to be committed to your work, and you have to be committed to a certain way of life. So that's what I saw as soon as I saw it. It's like a flaw.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you guys, because like in my house, it's like my mom's family, we're all a bunch of like knitters and crocheters. So when I was a kid, I didn't know how to crochet well, but like my mom would always give me the yarn from my clothes, and she would like make scarves for us. And then I would just like wrap the yarn round and round until it was a ball, like over and over and over again. And I realized that if I have a kid, I'm gonna make him do it, and then their child's gonna do that same thing for them, because it's like we just naturally do it. And then I've seen what like how like we always have the same routine every single day. We just wind, or like go to school, eat, and like we just have this routine we're sticking with. And then when I look at the needles, I just look at like that's the end for us. And then yeah.
By the way, the whole show is called Bound, Unbound.
Also, like, did you finish?
Yeah, I guess so.
Also, like, when I just looked at what Brenda was just saying about the whole, like, deathbed and stuff, the actual, like, video where it is, it kind of looks like a pillow, like, on the bed. And, like, the needles and pins are the person sleeping on the bed. And it kind of, like, shows that maybe since, like, your head rests on the pillow, maybe, like, that's what your head is processing day in and day out, like, you're just sleeping. And that's what you're doing in your head, and then later on in your body, you're the pins and the needles that you have to go through. And
I like that one.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, it could be like, even though she's asleep, she's still in that tradition or in that mentality that she's still doing the same things over and over again. There's no end to all of this, and the only end is that. So like,
I felt like all of it's all just in moments, and since like already said it's a routine, there's billions of them, and like they all start from one place, and it's from the needles, and I feel like the needles represent like her beginning of starting like this whole tradition, and there is no end to it. Like you can't start, like, you can't find the first one that she ever put on this. You don't know where it starts, you don't know where it ends. You just see a bunch of needles, and I feel like the needles are like. There's so much more to come because you could just refill it. I think like there's so much more room because needles are like together, so you can just pile them on.
I saw it as a tradition, as a traditional thing